What's going on, everyone? I'm just your average, everyday, atypical Canadian nerd, here to react to your average, everyday American man, here to react to and learn about something to do with the 10 scariest Canadian myths. Ooh. And, well, off the top of my head, I can't think of any, but I'm sure I've heard of some of these, and I might have some context to add, and I might have some answers to the questions he asks. And so that is what I am here for, just to add a little bit of Canadian context into a American video about Canada. And I hope that's helpful information. I'm not trying to step on anyone's toes here. I'm just trying to be me, enjoying my little slice of the internet over here. And if you enjoy what I do, please give this video a like. I appreciate every single one of them, as it helps the channel to spread and grow. If you don't like what I'm doing, but you like me, my voice, my hair, my beard, anything like that, but you want to see me do something else, please leave a comment down below and let me know. Otherwise, I won't have any idea, right? And, well, make sure to stay tuned for the French word of the day, which will happen later when I start to figure out what that French word of the day is going to be. And with all that out of the way, let's get this picture out of the way and get this video underway.
What's going on, everyone? I'm just a typical, average American here today to react and learn about the top 10 scary Canadian myths. I love this title. I love this subject. I think this is going to be really interesting, fun, hopefully not too scary. You know what? I want it to be scary. I hope it's scary. You know what? Be scary.
Yeah, that'd be fun because honestly, there's not much in Canadian history or mythology that I'm aware of that's actually scary, so this would be fun. And I hope some of it is nearby, like, say, oh, something to do with a haunted house in the Niagara region. I think that would be really cool. We have those, come to think of it. And we have haunted stories of haunted places and haunted people that haunt even the living today. But we don't need to talk about those, let's say, mass unalivers. No, instead, we're just going to keep watching.
That's the point of this, right? The United States certainly has its fair share of urban legends, myths, stories. I don't know if we're going to be talking about some sort of true crime stuff here. I don't know how crazy this is going to get. I don't know how scary or crazy Canada can get. But I'm very interested to learn because, for the most part, a lot of the stuff that I've learned about Canada and reacted to about Canada has been very pleasant, very beautiful, touching, loving, very nice. So this is scary. This is myth. This is, I don't even know what, but I'm looking to get a little perturbed, you could say, by what I see here. And I hope you're ready as well, because here we go.
All right.
If it'll load.
I hope.
This is the most anticlimactic. Okay, I have to refresh it. All right. Fine.
Let's go.
Fine, all right. It ruined my perfect intro, but that's okay.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
Maybe that was kind of scary. It's kind of scary it didn't work at first. Ooh.
His computer's haunted. Ooh.
Ooh.
Headless ghosts and Titanic passengers roaming old Montreal, a man who was burned by radiation after a UFO encounter in Manitoba, Wendigo, which is a man-eating creature or evil spirit, has been spotted in the northern forests of the Atlantic coast and Great Lakes region of the United States and in Canada. I had no idea.
Oh my gosh. This is a lot. Okay.
All right, so the Wendigo, we're familiar with that. Ancient stories from the First Nations. I guess we'll find out more.
This creature was right here in my country, the Wendigo. The Wendigo is a mythical creature that has been haunting the woods of Ontario in the very same province and forests that I've been camping at. I've never come across one, thank God for that. I don't know what I would do.
The Wendigo?
Wendigo.
Wendigo?
Not dingo.
Never heard of that.
if I came face to face with a Wendigo. Alright, in the comment section, let me know what state or country you guys live in, and I'm gonna try to make a scary urban myths or urban legends video about the place that you live in, or let me know which places you want me to do an urban legends in. Well, how's it going, you guys? I'm your host for this one, Landon Do Not Sing, and welcome back to another most amazing top 10 video. So just letting you guys know, we have put out a crazy...
I'm probably gonna skip some of this intro. I want to get to the scary stuff. I'm sorry.
Good.
Here we go.
With this list, this is the top 10 scary Canadian myths. First up, in at number 10, we have the Caddy monster that has been spotted for the past 200 years. People in the coastal region of British Columbia, which...
What? Look at this thing.
Hippocamp.
This is like, there's mythological sea creatures like this. Oh, what do you call it? There's an American version of this I swear I've heard of. Anyway, that's an interesting creature.
which is on the west coast of Canada, has been spotting this creature right here. This is what people might have been calling the Loch Ness Monster.
Yes, the Loch Ness Monster. Look at it.
Which is not from America, Tyler. That would be Scotland in Loch Ness.
Wait, that looks like a bunch of rocks or something. Or is it the Loch Ness Monster? There's kind of a Loch Ness Monster in Canada. I mean, from what I can tell.
Full name of the creature is Catoborosaurus, but it's nicknamed Caddy because that's just way easier to say, and this is a folklore that has been passed down from generation to generation. Number 9, we have the Ghost of Christie Mansion. The legend starts off with Robert Christie, who first came to Toronto in 1848. He was a teenager. Well, he worked in a bakery until one day he owned his own company, Mr. Christie, and he was known for his famous cookies, and in the 50s he opened up a factory like 5 minutes from where I live.
So this is the ghost of Christie. Does that mean he's gonna meet some kind of terrible, scary death and haunt his cookie factory?
Ah, so Mr. Christie, you make good cookies. That's the saying, right? And I guess it's good to know that he's still watching over his cookie empire to this day.
Pretty crazy to think about. I smell all those cookies. Although just recently it shut down, so that amazing smell, yeah, also shut down. Well, there's a myth about his mistress. Robert set up a secret chamber in his mansion where his mistress lived there secretly. The room she was hiding in, or maybe forced to live in, was room 29. Well, one night she hung herself. So now the legend has it that if you enter room 29 all by yourself at nighttime, the door will swing shut on its own and you will be trapped inside of it forever.
Oh my god. I wonder if there's videos or like YouTube videos out there of people purposefully going into that room at night to see if the door will swing shut or what'll happen. I swear there's gotta be people who have done this.
Absolutely, and that sounds like a fun way to spend a day. I don't know. Maybe I'm just weird like that.
Just like Robert Christie's mistress was. Next up, number 8, we have the Tethys Lake Monster that looks like this. This looks pretty similar to the Gill Man in the movie from the 50s.
What?
All right, well, I've heard of this one as opposed to Caddy, which, I mean, from the photo, it looked to me more like flotation buoys, like something that we'd put out in Lake Superior to say, don't swim past this line because the undertow will carry you away and you will drown a terrible death, because Lake Superior has gigantic ocean-sized waves and it's dangerous. And I remember going there when I was young and, well, I wanted to go out into the waves and kind of experience the crash. And I was not allowed to because I was too small.
On Earth, why are there so many strange sea creatures wreaking havoc in Canada?
It's because we've got a lot of water, and some of that water, as I just mentioned, can be very treacherous.
What is up with this? Look at this guy.
Well, this legendary creature was apparently spotted in Victoria, British Columbia. 2 boys have claimed to see this monster.
What? What is going on here?
That's the creature from the Black Lagoon, right?
Is this a dramatic reenactment? Or did someone get a really up-close picture of him carrying someone away?
Oh, sweet summer child, uncultured. This is a still from a movie from long ago by Universal Pictures.
Emerged from the Thetis Lake beach, and they described it as a creature with silvery scaly skin, sharp claws, and spikes on its head. This was reported back in 1972, and it actually made it into the newspaper right on the front of it. Police also investigated this claim, but there was no evidence found. There were also these two boys fishing on the opposite side of the lake who have also claimed to have seen the monster.
Man, I'd almost want to get swallowed by, who was the Loch Ness Monster? Oh, I forget the name. Maybe I can hover over it. Chrissy? Or...
Caddy.
The Caddy Monster. Yes, the Caddy Monster. Then this humanoid monster fish guy who could, like, walk up to you and carry you off. That's kind of scarier.
It seems like the monster has been spotted since the 70s, and somehow ever since then, it's able to stay in hiding. Number 7, we have the site of the famous Peggy's Point Lighthouse that is located in Nova Scotia, so we're talking about the east coast of Canada. This place is said to be haunted by a ghost of a woman named Margaret.
Oh, this is a good one. Like, a spooky, scary lighthouse, you know? It's like the perfect place for a scary urban myth.
Peggy's Cove is actually a very famous place in Nova Scotia, and yeah, that's in the Maritimes, as we call them. And that is a very famous lighthouse, and yes, there have been many deaths on the rocks, many deaths associated with the lighthouse. Let's keep going.
Who took her own life in 1800. Well, according to this local legend in Nova Scotia, Margaret was a survivor of a shipwreck that killed all of her children. During her grieving period, she would often wander the rocks at the edge of the sea. Well, one day her husband, in an attempt to cheer her up, was dancing on the rocks when she slipped and suffered a fatal head wound. It's like this woman is just really bad luck, so she decided to take her own life by jumping into the sea.
Wow. This is a good one. This is scary.
It's really bad luck, so she decided to take her own life by jumping into the sea.
That's interesting, right? The sea claims her children, the sea claims her husband, and she says, "Take me too."
Ever since then, there has been so many reports of a mysterious lady in blue who looks like she's about to jump in the sea. And when people go...
Oh, that would be terrifying. If, like, dark evening time, mysterious, shadowy, floating lady jump.
Oh, okay. I just need to stop right there. If you're ever in the Maritimes and you're near the ocean, get away from it at night, because it is legitimately dangerous. Every year, people get swept out to sea. Every year, people die on the rocks because they think it's a great photo opportunity because the sun has set and the moon is at a perfect angle to bounce off the water, and then the water comes and just washes them away.
Jumping into the sea, you're all alone. That'd be scary.
To try to help her out, when they get closer to her, she just disappears. Like, where does she go? So now the ghost of Margaret lives on, haunting the province. Moving right along into number 6, we have the Sasquatch, famously known as Bigfoot.
Is Bigfoot... I mean, every American knows about Bigfoot, Sasquatch. Is Bigfoot a frequent traveler of Canada?
Actually, yes, and that has to do with the Great Forests. Now, a lot of stories come from Washington forests in the United States, but also all over Canadian forests as well. It is believed that the people known as the Sasquatch happen to live underground in a parallel field that is close to, but separate from our reality.
I guess I've never really bothered to learn about where all the photos of him are from and where he likes to journey. Is he a Canadian myth?
Both Canadian and American, yes.
I had no idea that this was actually a Canadian urban legend. Well, parts of North America...
Yeah, this picture. This is the famous one. Everyone in America has seen this picture. Yeah, I thought this was probably an American myth.
Primarily Oregon, Washington, and British Columbia. Well, these are the most common places Bigfoot has been spotted. Bigfoot is probably one of the most famous folklores in the world, and it's from my country. I mean, I don't know if I should be happy about that or terrified. Bigfoot are known to be these really huge ape-like creatures that are hairy and can walk like humans, and have been known to leave a really big footprints.
Yeah, I mean, he's so famous. He's in commercials, like funny commercials in America, has Bigfoot.
And cartoons and movie references. I mean, even in the Goofy movie, right?
Oh yeah, this video.
I saw that Bigfoot walking across the screen and I thought to myself, wow, they are real.
I'm not sure how Bigfoot at this point could be faked. I mean, how do so many people
Okay, I have to admit, I am pretty skeptical when it comes to this stuff. Although I do appreciate this shaky video of Bigfoot.
spot it, but yet it's still a myth today? Why can't we confirm
But I do find all these stories and myths, especially Bigfoot, to be good fun and very interesting nonetheless.
this damn thing already?
Alright, so why can't we confirm Bigfoot actually exists? Well, according to the stories, they live underground, as previously mentioned, and also they are interdimensional beings that don't necessarily inhabit the third density that we find ourselves trapped in here, this persistent illusion that we call reality, and that they are actually phased out of our frequencies. Now, keep in mind, the visible light spectrum is just a tiny slice of the entire energy spectrum. We have ultraviolet and infrared, which we cannot detect with our own eyes, but we know that that light exists, and we can detect it with other means. Now, let's extrapolate that further, and we think of sound, right? That humans have a perceptible range of sound, and dogs can hear more. What else is there that we cannot see or hear that exists just beside us? And that is thought to be the realm of the Bigfoot, where they live in what's known as fourth density, which is outside of our perception of time.
Is everyone just making up stories? Is everyone a storyteller? Stories of Bigfoot has been around since the 1800s. I mean, could this be generations and generations of lying people? All right, the legend and myths.
Yes, it absolutely could be. I mean, like, stories are fun, and we like to tell them and retell them and embellish on them. I mean, think of the game of telephone, where one person whispers something to another person. That person is supposed to whisper the same message to the next person, and so on until it gets back all around the table. We used to do this at the cottage when I was growing up, and invariably the message would get changed several times along the way, just because what you hear is not necessarily what was said.
Of a Nanobozo is up next on our list, and this shape-shifting trickster is at number 5. Nanobozo is also known as Nanobush. Well, Nanobush's gender is undefined and changeable. Also, the Nanobush can appear as different.
Oh my god! If he showed up as this rabbit guy, somehow this would freak me out more than any other form. Just a human body and a rabbit head? No.
Animals. Nanobush most often appears in the shape of a rabbit, so I might actually have 2 Nanobushes right at home, and I'm pretty sure I'm terrified when I read this. What if my rabbits can actually understand every single thing I'm saying and they're plotting something against me? And they're just being patiently, because I've had them for like 4 years and nothing's happened yet.
All right, so the story of the Nanobush is interesting, and I have known people who, while traveling at night, have come across a rabbit, and the rabbit looked at them as if to say, "Follow me." And they did. And in each of these cases, the rabbit led these people somewhere they thought was fantastic. One group of friends of mine, they were traveling at night, they came across a rabbit, they followed the rabbit, and the rabbit led them through a bush to a clearing with a waterfall that they did not know was there. And in subsequent visits, they could never find again.
Well, the Nanobush myth is often told as children's stories.
Is this Are all these myths so far, are Canadians actually familiar with some of these myths? Because I've only heard of Bigfoot. I haven't heard of any of these other ones.
All right, so that all has to do with exposure, right? Because we are not all exposed to the same things, and regional stories get told in their own region and may or may not spread beyond.
As an American.
Moving into number 4. Okay, so apparently people actually believe that Ontario and Area 51 have a lot in common.
Yeah, Area 51. This is really famous in America.
Also known as the Groom Lake. It happens to be in Nevada and is also at Nellis Air Force Base and distinctly not in Canada.
That's just this secret government location where they hide stuff, a lot of evidence that might have to do with aliens. I thought this was an American thing as well. Or there's like a Canadian equivalent to Area 51?
People actually believe that Ontario and Area 51 have a lot in common when it comes to aliens and theories around them. It is rumored that in Mississauga, the Lakeview hydroelectric power plant might be hiding aliens because people have seen multiple UFO sightings. At nighttime, people have seen orbs of light coming out of the building. I think it's just electricity, but people say otherwise.
I was gonna say, like, people saw a light on the building, and that's reason to believe that it's an alien. It could just be a light.
People think it might be alien invasion. Underneath the hydroelectric power plants, there are sewer lines, and that's apparently how the aliens were able to get around undetected. I guess the aliens did a bad job at that because people have reported seeing them. Let's move on to the St. Louis ghost train that has been seen floating in the air at number 3. Let me take you guys over to a tiny village of St. Louis, which is located in Saskatchewan.
Oh, I was gonna say, there's a St. Louis in America. I was like, what's going on here? This is the Canadian St. Louis, and it has a ghost train. See, that's the kind of thing I like. A lot of these are about scary individuals wandering around the earth, and I was hoping for something like this, like a floating mythical ghost train. Like, that is cool.
Try to spell that word for me. Alright, this tiny village was able to put itself on the map because they have been known for a pretty bizarre legend about an abandoned train wreck. People have often reported seeing strange floating lights moving along the train tracks during the nighttime. These sightings have gone way back to the 20s, and generations after that have also claimed to have seen these floating lights at nighttime. In the 80s, the track were actually removed, which made it impossible to see train lights because there's no train. How can a train be somewhere with no train tracks? But somehow people were still able to see a ghost train.
Oh, still train lights. Still indications of a train when there's no train track. Oh, that's good. That's good stuff.
People also claim to see a man who died during the construction of the tracks. Number 2. Okay, sorry, that actually freaks me out as well, but we're going to be talking...
You can see he was, as a headphone user, not very appreciative of that screaming. And if you were wearing headphones like I am wearing headphones, I'm sure you can relate.
I don't know. I feel like that was unnecessary. Sorry, my soul left my body for a second. And I'm rebooting. Okay. No, there was no real reason for a jump scare there. I'm gonna make sure to turn the volume down on that before I upload this, so that there's not a super loud screaming voice in all of your ears or coming out of your computers. But for me, right then, before I lowered the volume for you guys, that was an extremely loud, piercing scream.
Yeah, I bet.
Okay. The screaming tunnel, of course. That's like, what is the purpose of this? It so I can know what it's like to visit the Screaming Tunnel, I guess. Okay.
About the spirit of a girl who haunted the Screaming Tunnels. The tunnel is known as the Screaming Tunnel or Blue Ghost Tunnel. I call it Never Enter Tunnel. It was built in the early 1900s. It was used as a pathway for farmers to use. Well, there is a story about how the tunnel caught fire when a girl was inside of it. The girl ran screaming from the fire trying to get away, but she was burned to death.
See, this is more of a classic scary story to me. Very simple. It's centered around this location, the tunnel, and she ran through it on fire, screaming. So now, to this day, if you visit, you might hear her screams. That is like classic, peak classic scary story.
But by the looks of the tunnel, it more has to do with just the way the wind passes through it. Kind of like a whistle.
Right there. So, aside from the screaming at the beginning, I like this one.
Some believe that this little girl's father might have burned her alive in the tunnels. You could still go inside of the tunnels today, but you should only go if you're brave enough. So be warned. For me, I'm not brave enough.
Oh, I would never I don't even believe in half this stuff at all, and I would never climb in there and to the Screaming Tunnel.
I'm never gonna experience that tunnel. Apparently you can actually feel and hear the girl screaming in the tunnels.
Abandoned railway tunnel in Niagara Falls, which has a special significance. It is the birthplace of an infamous urban legend. For decades, people have hiked through the woods to catch a glimpse of the ghosts in what locals have christened the Screaming Tunnel.
Oh, yeah. It doesn't surprise me, actually. I bet all sorts of scary sights around the world it attracts people. Certain kinds of people are really attracted. They want to go to the Screaming Tunnel and stuff like that.
All right. So out of curiosity, I just looked this up, and it happens to be in Niagara-on-the-Lake, which is very close to where I am. So let's see. There is St. Catharines on the map, Glendale, the Screaming Tunnel by Warner Road. Near Paradiso Estate Winery. Huh. I feel like I should check this out.
Like that.
I do live about an hour away from the Screaming Tunnel, but I don't think I'm ever going to enter it. What do you guys think? Should I go there? Should I bring a camera? Should I record it? I mean, I am a YouTuber. And finally, and at number 1, we have Wendigo.
Yes, so the Wendigo is the most famous of all these entries. Let's hear what he has to say.
That has been haunting people in the woods, possibly haunting me in the woods of Ontario, in the exact same forests that I've been camping at.
Wendigo. Is this Wendigo?
This is one artistic rendering of the Wendigo, yes, and the Wendigo is a horrifying creature, often found in the Algonquin parks.
Oh my god. It's like a humanoid creature that roams the forest? Okay. There's some sorts of American myths kind of based around this idea.
The Wendigo might appear as a monster with some characteristics of a human, or as a spirit who has possessed a human being and made them become monstrous. It is historically associated with murder.
The Wendigo has the ability to possess human beings and turn them into cannibals, murderers, as well as cause them to have insatiable greed.
Oh, the Wendigo possesses you. It doesn't just kill you or eat your brains. It possesses you and makes you do horrible things. I like that.
Yes, so it could be the spirit of the Wendigo that comes to possess you. It could be that another has been possessed by the spirit of the Wendigo. And some are transformed into the Wendigo.
That's much more nuanced. I like this story.
Some indigenous people believe those who destroy the environment have been possessed by the Wendigo.
Okay, that footage was actually from Charlotte on her other channel, Life's Biggest Questions. You guys should go check it out. I'll also link Life's Biggest Questions channel in the description down below. It's a really awesome channel. Well, that's it for me on this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys all in the next most amazing top 10 video.
Wow.
Very interesting, because in the Niagara region, we have a lot of haunted locations. Some are houses, some, apparently, a screaming tunnel, and some are the waterways. Well, it's not like a thing that I'm into, to be honest. I'm not fascinated by ghost stories, and I'm not, like, I don't feel compelled to go and investigate. But I am curious, and I don't know. Maybe I'll go check out the Screaming Tunnels and see what's up there. I've recently found some tunnels near where I live, and they don't seem to be recorded anywhere that I can find. It's said that under St. Catharines, Ontario, run a series of tunnels which also feature natural hot springs. But these tunnels, all the entrances have been sealed or lost. One was lost in a hotel fire just a few years ago.
Oh, Wendigo. I've never heard of Wendigo. This was by Most Amazing Top 10. Okay, I like that. I did like that, except for the screaming. That screaming tunnel. Aside from that, I really liked this. I basically hadn't heard about any of these myths, which shouldn't be all that surprising. They are Canadian myths. But I would be interested to hear about if these are myths that, average Canadians are familiar with. I can't say I'm up to date with every American myth, but some are so popular, some are so, on the cusp of popular culture in America that you just can't help but hear about them. So maybe Canadians are familiar with these myths.
Well, the water monsters I had heard of in passing. The only one that really stuck in my head would be the Wendigo, because I've been hearing stories of the Wendigo since I was a child. Now, I grew up in Ontario, which is the home of the spirit of the Wendigo. So that makes sense. And of course, Bigfoot. We've all heard of Bigfoot, right? Pretty fantastic. And, hey, if I'm lucky, I'll go check out the Screaming Tunnels, find myself a passage to the lair of the Bigfoot. And, I don't know, like, come upon the spirit of the Wendigo, something like that? Yeah, I don't know.
Either way, I find this stuff to be extremely interesting, very fun. I don't feel like I'm one who's easily scared unless you pop up a screaming tunnel randomly while I'm listening to a YouTube video. Otherwise, I just find most of this really interesting, especially when I've never, ever heard about it before. Anyway, if you found this video interesting as well, feel free to give it a like or leave a comment. And if you're interested in more videos like this,
like me
reacting to Canadian culture, stuff in Canada that I've never heard about or experienced before, feel free to subscribe for more. And until then, thanks for watching, and see you next time.
Yes, thank you very much for watching. I hope the scream didn't bother you, didn't bother me. And, that leads us to the French word of the day. Well, considering the theme of this episode, I will say ghost or phantom. The French word would be fantôme. Fantôme. Yeah, it's pretty basic. It's a phantom. The spooky, very Halloween related. And yes, we all know how to spell fantôme because of Halloween when we were growing up.
What's going on?
I guess that video's over, and I don't really have anything more to say, except leave me your thoughts down below. And just maybe we'll check out the Screaming Tunnels together on the weekend. Hey, who knows? I should be healed fully from my bout of COVID by then and ready to go catch something else in the tunnels. And, I hope you've enjoyed today. I'm enjoying the day. I enjoy your company, and I hope you just keep being awesome. Bye.
Science. Spirit Life. Nerd Pope King.